Just having fun. My co-creators, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I do little test videos to see how the video comes out and stuff. And I was snapping on the one I was testing, so I said, I go on snapping the one I'm doing. So anyway, my beautiful co-creating people that's creating the lives that you always wanted, because you are in total control of how your life goes. That's just not a statement of just thinking positive. That's real life right there. I'm telling you, if you go and do anything and you have the mindset in your mind that everything will turn out good, even if things might go kind of awry, if you have your mind focused on that things will turn out good, you will find that good in everything. You know what I'm saying? I try to make it a purpose to, when I go places, I try to have this feeling of, like, how to get those butterflies in your stomach where you feel like something good about to happen, or when you're in love and all that stuff. That stuff is all in you. You can have that feeling of butterflies whenever you produce it. Nobody can inject butterflies into your body. Nobody can inject love into your body. Love is already there. So you can conjure up those feelings. You can have that feeling. And when you walk in a place, or when you wake up and you decide today is going to be a good day regardless, I'm telling you, that energy goes out. And people love that good energy. They love it. Even though they might be acting all rude, but they love it. And that energy comes right back to you. So I'm telling you, project that goodness, project that love, and you will get it right back. It's crazy. It's amazing. It's kind of fun to do that. This video is something that it took me a while to realize this years ago. There are certain talents that we are born with. Certain things we are just naturally good at. I always been good at, since I was a little kid, I was always good at looking at something mechanical, and I could like mentally take it apart and put it back together. That was my natural thing. I was always good at just taking pieces and parts and reorganizing them in my head. That's something I just didn't study for it since a little kid. I used to look at toys, and I mean, there's parents that experience this. You might have a kid that always likes taking stuff apart. That was me. I used to like taking stuff apart and rebuilding it, and I couldn't rebuild it the way it was put together, but I used to try because I wanted to see how it works. I wanted to understand what was the mechanisms of that thing. This is when I was a little bitty kid, when I didn't understand that. My parents paid for that, and I'm trying to figure out how to dismantle it so I can understand it better. They thought I was just being destructive, or I'm not being grateful for something they brought. But really, in my mind, even as a young kid, I'm like, I want to understand this thing. I want to see how this works. I want to see how this works. Damn, it don't work anymore. So we all have different talents, and a lot of times our natural talents, we kind of take them for granted because we're used to them. It's like, you got people in your life you take for granted because you're used to them. Trust me, I got people in my life, I've learned to understand how important they are. But yeah, they're just like people and things you have around you, you adapt. As humans, we adapt to things. It's a blessing and a curse. Because then when we adapt, we don't realize how important certain things are. And so as we get older, we go through school, prison practice, I like to call it. We get taught all these things. And then we go out into the real world, either go to college or do whatever you decide you want to do. And we tend to have, we get certain, sometimes we don't follow what we already know is good for us, that we already know how to do. We get these different ideas injected into our mind. We get kind of brainwashed. We're like, you can go and do this career or go and do that career. You'll make this money. You'll have this prestige. People will respect you and all that, whatever. And some of those things may be good for you. I'm not saying they're bad, but for those that were kind of trying to figure it out, like myself, it's like, damn, I didn't really know what to do. And I was like, well, I know how to fix things. I'm good at that. That was a natural talent, and I can do that. And I've always been good at, also, even, I don't know exactly when this started, but always been really good at listening. I've always been, I guess I started off as a very sensitive kid. Everything around me affected me. And so as I got older, I learned how to take that sensitivity and I started using it for my benefit. I learned what affects other people. Somebody talk to me, I can tell them what's the most important thing in their life in 2 seconds. Even if they don't say it, I can tell by how they talking. And I learned that from my way of, because I was always a sensitive kid, and so I learned how to use that to learn how other people think and see what drives them. That's something that's natural to me. And so I always had that gift, and I had the gift of wanting to understand how things work. And you can kind of fuse those together. You can make some pretty you can make some things happen if you know how to fuse that together. But as a young man, I was I was like, okay, what should I do? What should I do? I'm finished with school, what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to run off to college, for whatever reason. What can I do? And it took me a few years, and I was like, okay, obviously I know how to fix things, so let's go into some electrical engineering. So I went to school for that, and it was it was one of them schools. It wasn't like a university. It's one of those schools where you work for a couple of years and you get like a little an associate's degree, and then you got to go from there. And before I even finished school, I was already working somewhere where I was using my skills of repairing and fixing. I was doing repairs at a company for years, and so I was already using my skills. So I never really used that degree, and so it was pretty easy for me. And I did okay with that because I wasn't, I wasn't really engaged into it. And shortly after that, I did some moving. I moved, from where I was from to a different place and stuff. And shortly after I moved there, I realized my other natural talent. Because I was doing good with the whole fixing and repairing things because I already knew how to do it. It wasn't anything hard for me to do. It was easy. And I got a little bored with it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really excel in it. At the time, I didn't understand that stuff that comes easy to you, that's the stuff you need to just use that because it's easy. It doesn't take that much effort. Use that energy to bring yourself to the level where you want to go and then do what you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we take what we know how to do for granted and we don't hone our skills on that stuff that's easy. And at the time I knew it was easy, but I didn't really put all my energy into it because I didn't respect it enough because it was easy. It was always there. We all dealt with situations in our life. Like I said before, somebody's always there. You take them for granted. Even you have latent talents that you've always done, and you take them for granted. I'm not saying that you need to use those talents and to the point where that's what you do for the rest of your life if you don't love it. But you got to use those talents to get to where you want to go. That's the key right there. It's like you got an easy pass. You have an easy pass. Everybody else might be struggling to do that thing that you're easy at, that's easy to you. And you may not love it, but it's easy for you. You can do that and do other stuff. So that's the key, is to use that natural talent, whether you love it or not. Use that natural talent to get you to where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? And so to finish the story, it's after I moved from my hometown and I was doing that stuff I was naturally good at, didn't really take it serious. It was easy for me. I soon got into different things that I was into. I was like, damn, I always been good at listening and talking to people, and I always been the shoulder to cry on. It's a natural thing for me. It's not something I was forced into. It's just who I am, and that led me into therapy. And I was like, damn, what I'm saying? I never really thought about going into this, and I started, doing therapy. I'm talking about like physical therapy, massage therapy, stuff like that, like body therapy, not talking and trying to get in your head therapy or trying to help you figure out your problems therapy. Though I can do a little bit of that too, as you can tell. But that was something that was easy for me too. I mean, I got into that industry, and it was easy. It was nothing. I was a pro right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't even that hard for me. And still, early 20s, I still didn't understand, hey, use that natural talent to get to where you're trying to go. Just use that. If you would just focus on that, you would get to where you're trying to go, build up your capital, get your money together, get your life in order, get everything taken care of. Just, try not to stay away from any serious relationships and all that stuff. Just focus on your career. Get yourself together, and then once you figure out what you want to do, use all that capital and all the experience you built to launch yourself into that thing you really want to do, because what you've been doing is easy, right? Because it's natural. And so I made the mistake. I found another thing that I was good at. I got lucky. Some people are just good at one thing. I was naturally good at two things. I know how to fix stuff. I knew how to look at something and break it down and see how it works. I just knew how to do it. It was just in me. And I also knew how to heal people. I knew how to listen. I knew how to be empathetic. I knew how to see what's going on and give that energy right back to people, and help them, coach them into a direction where they want to be, to their best self. I knew how to do that physically, and I knew how to use my voice. I use all my tools. I use my voice. I use my warmth. I use everything. I use my eyes. I use everything to move my clients into the direction I want them to go into. You know what I'm saying? So, but for years, I know I had that talent, but I'm like, I know how to do that. It's okay. I really don't want to do that all the time. So I'll do this. And so I went off into other industries, and I was working there, and I was doing okay. You know what I'm saying? I always had an entrepreneur spirit in me. So I've done several businesses for myself and doing everything. And I did okay. I mean, bills got paid. I ain't never been homeless. I ain't never been in any terrible financial situations, but I still was struggling, you know what I'm saying? And so it took me years to be like, okay, what are you naturally good at? I know what you would like to do. I know what you love to do. I know what you want to fancy yourself as learning how to do, but what are you naturally good at? And so I finally broke myself down and said, you know what? I'm a really good therapist when it comes to the massage and the physical therapy. I'm good at that. I'm naturally good at that. How about you take all the energy, because for years, I never had less than 2 jobs. I've had 3 and 4 jobs, and that's not an exaggeration. I've had 2 jobs main. I had some that was every now and again that I would be hustling on a 4th one. Always had several sources of income. And so it took a lot for somebody like me to say, you know what? I'm just going to focus on one thing that I know I'm good at. And when I started focusing on that one thing that I knew I was good at, everything changed. Everything changed almost overnight. Financial situation changed. My attitude changed. I got more relaxed. I wasn't stressed out, worried about this, and that. I started seeing myself with more power than what I've ever seen before. It was amazing. And so I'm saying all that to encourage you to use your natural talents, even if it's temporary. Use them to get to where you're trying to go. Use that natural talent. It's been given to you for a reason. It's not a mistake that you're good at something that's strange. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're good at stuff you think is strange, but everybody can't do that. Everybody don't have the ability to do that. I'm also really good at writing. I can write. I can describe stuff really, really well. I've always been like that. So I have a few natural talents that I've recognized, and I'm pretty sure there's more. Within you, there's probably more than what you think is there. You know what I'm saying? You think it's just 1 or 2, but I'm pretty sure you have a lot more talents than what you think. So that's what I'm saying. Use your natural talents to bring you where you want to go. And as you're doing that, because it's easy to you, remember? It's not hard because it's natural. It's like breathing. It's just there. Use that opportunity to figure out what you really want to do, and that's going to take some work to develop that. And then you go do that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, my co-creators, go create the life you want, the life you desire, the life you love. Go outside today, get some fresh air, sweat for like 30 minutes, get out of breath, burn yourself out. You know what I'm saying? Just get all of it out. 30 minutes, sunlight, air, all that stuff in the air that people scared of. Take it in. Let your body process it and get it out. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to be in bubbles. Do that. Meditate. Try to meditate like 10 minutes. Just sit down. You don't have to be a master meditator to sit down and just think about yourself as being energy and being everywhere, and just know that everything that you are made of is the same thing that the stars and the sun is made of. It's the same elements. It's just rearranged. We all physically are made up of the same elements of everything around us. So things you think are grandiose and magical and like unattainable, that is you. You are made up of those same elements. Don't discount yourself. Don't discount yourself. Trust me. That is you pulling yourself downward. And I know it's difficult, but don't do it. Turn off the news. Turn off the news. Stop watching the news. Stop being programmed by this world agenda, by these ideas that ain't got nothing to do with your lifestyle. Turn that mess off. Build your own life. Build your own ideas. Leave your cell phone home sometimes. Go to Walmart. Go to the grocery store. Leave your cell phone at home. If you need to know what you're going to get, write it down on a piece of paper. Old school. I'm telling you. Free yourself from that technology. That's detrimental. I love you, my co-creators. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.